Laura's back. Hello.
Hello.
And I forgot to mention, I like your hair.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's blue.
It wasn't blue the last time I met you.
It wasn't?
2 years ago. It was not blue then.
What colour was it then? And it was short, if I remember.
Well, it was shorter. So, it's a pandemic. I didn't get my hair cut for 2 years.
No.
Finally, I did, but
okay.
I didn't cut it for a year, so it's longer.
But when did you?
And it's blue.
When did you decide to change it to blue? To dye it blue?
I was working from home. I always wanted to dye it blue. I have clip-in blue bits that I've used in the past.
The fake extension thing.
Yep.
Well, they're not fake extensions. They're all
But
fake.
they're all fake. Well, they're not. I mean, they're real.
Yeah, they exist.
They exist.
Unlike
they're not like
fire.
imaginary.
Did you know fire doesn't exist?
What?
It doesn't exist.
Fire?
Yeah. Look online. Fire doesn't exist. I didn't believe
this
it.
is another topic. This is another topic for another day. This is interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Fire doesn't exist.
Because fire also can be blue.
It can. So you don't exist.
Dun, dun, dun.
Who am I talking to? Lorenzo, my ghost. You don't know we have a ghost in here.
No.
Oh, we can talk about that as well in a minute. So go on then. Blue hair. Why the blue?
I've always faked it. I've always faked blue hair, and then I was working from home, so I wasn't seeing any of my with the extensions.
It's not naturally blue. Thinking what you were
No,
born with
now
blue
I'm
hair.
now I'm naturally blue. And so I wasn't seeing customers, and I thought, oh, well, I can dye my hair blue now. And in fact, I visited some friends in Asheville, North Carolina, which is a delightful.
Nashville without the N.
And an E on the end. So it's Nashville without the N, and then you add an E. Asheville has an E on the end.
Okay, right.
So in Asheville, at that time, everybody had, I don't know what they called it, unicorn hair, I think, or mermaid hair or something. And it was all the colors.
Like a rainbow.
Beautiful. And I wasn't quite that brave because Asheville is 4.5 hours from home.
Right.
And I didn't know how I would maintain it because, what do they call them? Vanity colors are hard to maintain. They fade really fast. Yeah, blues and greens and...
Okay. They're called vanity colours.
Yeah.
That
makes me feel bad. Yeah, it makes me feel really bad that they're vanity
Be
colors.
vain all you want. Why not? You only live once.
Well, I only wanted blue. I mean, actually, there's a woman in Asheville. Shout out to Serenity in Asheville because her hair is glorious.
Hi, Serenity. In Serenity in Asheville. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But I didn't think I could pull it off, and I certainly couldn't maintain it with the distance. So, Lala is the stylist in Asheville that gave me blue hair. Lala. Mm-hmm. And she's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And
they all have normal names in Asheville, it sounds.
Asheville is a really cool town.
Yeah, I've never been.
No, when you come, I'll take you there too.
Yeah.
So, so I ended up with blue hair just on a whim. Mm-hmm. And
on a whim. No, on a whim. Peter Griffin. Stewie Griffin. You never seen Family Guy?
No, I don't watch television.
That's not television. That's just gold.
I know. There's a lot of culture that I don't understand.
It's not really culture.
Well, it is because everybody knows it. So it's part of the culture.
It's very good. Yeah, it's very, very good. And so the blue hair, but it looks good, the blue. I used to have blue hair, but all blue.
Oh.
And then all pink.
Nice.
Yeah, it was.
I need to see pictures.
Yeah, I'm still trying to find it. I know I have it. I have pictures somewhere in England, but when I went back to England in August, I couldn't find any. But I remember I used to have big blue spikes. But big.
Delightful.
Like
did you use like Elmer's glue to
I use a lot of lacquer. A lot of lacquer and gel. The problem was gel used to make it too dark. I wanted the blue.
Right.
And when I put gel on it, it went like blue. Yeah. So blue, so you're a very diverse person then, do you think? Would you consider yourself diverse?
More diverse than some, less diverse than others.
Okay. Because I think I was telling you yesterday, X Factor here in Italy now has removed the categories. Okay. But now at the end of it, there's only 2 girls in it. And everybody has blue hair, pink hair, green hair, no hair. 2 of them were covered in clay performing. Okay, there's diversity, but then there's a bit too far. And it seems to be that everybody who was chosen have got funny coloured hair, covered in clay, or whatever. And so, in your opinion, when does this diversity thing go too far?
That's such a difficult topic anymore because...
But it shouldn't be difficult. This is the problem. I'm not saying it shouldn't be difficult for you. It has become a difficult topic.
It's become difficult,
In the past, there was no problem. If I want to be called Bob, I can be called Bob. If you want to be called whatever you want to be called, fine. I mean, these people now with an Instagram, Instagram asked me the other day, what pronouns do you want to use? Kris is fine. Why do I need to have a pronoun? What do you think about this then? Do you think it's complicated?
It's complicated for me. I mean, it took me a minute to wrap my head around, and actually a friend of mine in the U.S. made a very intelligent post that made it all kind of make sense to me finally, but it's still hard for me because, like, you know, if they want to be referred to as they, that's fine, and I will do that to honor them because that's who they are. But even though I know that we use they singular in the U.S., it just always feels plural when I say it.
You just used it singular.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm learning to use it.
Yeah.
But I'm having to learn to use it singular because in my head it was always plural. So when I met this person, the pronoun was she, or at least I was introduced to her that way, to her as she, with a different name. And then now I think the pronoun is they. I don't think it's he. I think it's they, which is great. But I had to like send a private message and be like, okay, look, I know you with this name and refer to you as this pronoun. Yeah. And so when I see you, especially because it's a musician that's friends with other musicians that I know, so usually when I see them, I'm drinking. If I see you again at a show and I call you by your old name or she, because I've not adjusted. You know, my brain doesn't work so good. When I learn, you know, you're going to probably be Kris to me. Right. For the rest of my life. I'm going to call you Kris because that was your name when I met you. If you change your name to Bob next week, it's going to be hard for me. Yeah. I'm going to call you Kris.
We had a student who did the same thing. She didn't change sex or anything. She didn't change her gender, whatever you change. But basically, she just decided to change her name. And for me, she's always the original name. I'm not going to change it because, to be honest, I don't remember the new name now. Yeah. But like our secretary in the office, she knows the new name because she's only met her with the new name. Yeah. And sometimes when I'm speaking, I'm saying, "Oh, Shirley." She's not called Shirley, but "Oh, Shirley." Yeah. And she's like, "Who?" And I go, the one who changed the name," which is horrible. I think that's even worse. The one who changed the name. Yeah. It's. And how do you know how to address them when you meet them the first time?
Well, I mean, that makes it easy if you meet somebody for the first time.
Yeah, but they have to tell you, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, this thing that you're
saying.
But
if you're meeting someone, you don't refer to them in the third person, so you don't have to use the pronouns.
This is another reason. Why is it a big deal? Because if I'm talking about, what's she called? Demi Lovato. He's talking about aliens or something yesterday.
It wasn't me. It was...
No, if I'm... Okay, she wants to be referred to as the they. Okay. But in English, we do it like, let's say, if you left your wallet here, your purse, as you call it, handbag in English, and you went away, I go, they've left the wallet, they've left the handbag.
Right.
It's just natural for us. It's not. The problem is in different languages. It's not that easy. Yeah. So people need to not be so scared about it. And for me personally, I mean, people will hate me for saying this. This country, Italy, now is pushing it so much. It's creating the opposite effect. People are not liking it because it's everywhere. In England and America, we accept it. You have blue hair. I don't. I used to have. You want to be called he, you want to be called she? Wonderful. What's the problem? But if you keep pushing it, you have the opposite effect. In fact, people this year with X Factor are criticising it because it's too diverse.
Oh.
It's not being inclusive of other people. Only if you got blue hair, sing upside down, or whatever. Even for the magazine this month, I've been interviewing 2 people who weren't chosen, probably in my opinion, because they weren't diverse enough. And so.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's historically in every culture. If one population or one group is ignored or underrepresented or abused or whatever, and then they finally become, they finally get to be treated well or recognized or whatever, it kind of swings the other way, and then hopefully it'll all balance out so we can all just be people.
Exactly. We should accept everybody for who they are. I don't get the problem at all. But when you see people highlighting the problem, highlighting the fact, it becomes a problem. This is you have to live in a wonderful world. I'm going to dye my hair blue just to match you.
Yay!
So we need to call this adult talk. How to offend everybody in one podcast.